Religious organizations in Singapore have affirmed what's called a commitment to safeguard religious harmony. Representatives presented a commemorative item to Singapore's President Halimah Yacob during the opening ceremony of an international conference that explores how to build cohesive societies. Our reporter Gwyneth Teo is there. She joins us now. Good evening, Gwyneth. What is the commitment and why does it matter?
I think, as you know, this international conference of cohesive societies, this was actually mooted by President Halimah Yacob herself. And I think the fact that it comes straight from the topmost leadership in the land shows the kind of importance that's being placed and sort of the worry as well of growing extremism that's being seen around the world, really. And, you know, Christchurch, Sri Lanka, these terror incidents, these very recent incidents have been mentioned many times over the course of this evening's events occasion. And, you know, it's not just religious extremism that people are worried about. It's also political extremism, isolationism, segregationalism. These are sort of the political ideologies that are really worrying the world leaders and also communities around the world right now. So this commitment is hoped to kind of enforce social cohesion and to encourage it as well. It's hoped that even as leadership fails, for example, some world leaders have, you know, promoted isolationist policies. Even if world leaders say that, it is to be hoped that people, you know, stand together and find ways to find commonalities, to talk to each other, to dialogue, and to interact with one another. And this is what President Halimah Yacob had to say tonight about the importance of social cohesion in building strong communities.
A nation cannot prosper if its people are divided. A society cannot be proud if its people distrust each other. Only a cohesive society built upon mutual trust can harness the strength of its diversity so that its people can build a better future. And this trust has to begin with a discourse anchored on cohesion, not division, on unity, not discord, on respect, not distrust, and on building bridges and common spaces, not walls and watchtowers.
Gwyneth, are there any implementation plans?
Yes, indeed. As you can see, I'm actually holding a copy of the commitment to safeguard religious harmony here in my hand. And it has 7 different aspects in it, including sharing and propagating beliefs respectfully and sensitively, maintaining solidarity in crisis, supporting institutional efforts. I think something that could be leveled against such lofty pledges is that, you know, it's very easy to make a promise. So what actually is being done to, you know, what practical things are actually being done? Well, we had the opportunity to speak to some of the leading religious leaders this evening, and, you know, they were very, very aware and very candid of the issues that they have to face in their own communities. For example, the Mufti of Singapore, he said that his Muslim community may isolate themselves in an attempt to protect their faith. And the Christian bishop, he said that Christian communities face an issue of knowing when to proselytize and when it will be accepted. So this is really very frank and very candid. And they also said, you know, they're doing things like sending out letters to all the temples, engaging religious teachers in more dialogue, in more sessions of interaction, and also, you know, very interestingly enough, the Christian community is actually going to be launching a national day initiative called Love Your Neighbor. You know, so that's really something to look forward to. So I think this is really something that's driven by a sense of urgency, and, you know, it's very pragmatic and very practical, and it's something that the religious leaders have said that this is something that's has been needed for a number of years now, and this time it's really going to be something very practical and very practicable as well. Minister for Culture, Community and Youth, Grace Fu, she also talked a little bit more about what this commitment hopes to set out to achieve, and this is what she had to say about that.
Very important point is that we see that on a day-to-day basis, all of us actually can play a part to promote that trusting relations between people. And so we talked about how we can be sharing a table, having a meal together, despite our different religions, and also catering to different dietary requirements. So these daily encounters, daily interaction help to build trust. And I think that's important point about building the resilience and a long-lasting peace.
Thanks very much for that, Gwyneth Teo, reporting from the International Conference on Cohesive Societies in Singapore.